So, I guess whoever went to see Venom this weekend and this past Thursday have went out in droves to see it. Well, not droves, but actually more than anticipated, given the news that Sony has gone back on making Venom rated R for that PG-13 money. The movie absolutely has no connection to Peter Parker, but does mention Jameson's son as being the astronaut who brings the symbiotes back home. So I guess that's some kind of connectivity if you were looking for it. And it's more Easter eggs given the fact that you also have the fact that Eddie Brock can no longer work in New York because he worked for the rival of the Daily Bugle and some things happened. So it's there without trying to beat it over your head, the connections to New York and Spider-Man, but no direct connections. So anyway, let's get into what this video is really about real quick. Venom is sitting at a tomato score of what, 30, 40, I believe 40%, but it has a audience score of 89%, which is 15% more than the audience score for Justice League. So why I'm comparing both of these films, because both of these films had pretty low tomato scores, and I'm trying to bring up the fact that tomato scores don't mean shit. Like, people want to complain and bring up Rotten Tomatoes when it's convenient, okay? Because even if a movie's good, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You part of that negative. It's more power to you. But when a movie's bad, but you are anticipating to see it, nothing should stop the fan base for going out and seeing the movie, right? Well, that's what I've been told. But for what I'm seeing here is that Venom has done exceptionally well because it came in at the right time, meaning there is no other movies out, superhero movies. There's a big opening gap. Superhero movies have become kind of a staple of our cinematic yearly experience. We ain't got Aquaman to the end of December. We ain't got an MCU movie nowhere in sight until March. So Sony brought this movie out at a time where it can really prosper. And then on top of that, Venom does have a cult following. And let's go back to the main thing I was just talking about. There's nothing available at this time. So this movie is going to do well. As long as people know Venom and associate him with Spider-Man, even if Spider-Man's not in the movie, people are going to go there thinking, well, it's a Spider-Man movie. So Sony is not a fool, okay? So even though it's not connected to the Tom Holland Spider-Man or the Andrew Garfield or the Tobey Maguire, just because people basically were like, hey, Venom, it's a superhero movie, or it's a movie based on a comic book, and somebody else would tell them, hey, that's one of Spider-Man's biggest foes. Oh, it is? So Spider-Man might be in this movie? Boom, solid, just like that. But let's compare this to Justice League. I don't understand why the Justice League didn't make as much as it should have. Oh yeah, I do understand. Because Venom has nothing. It is the first movie of this so-called Venomverse, whereas Justice League was coming in off of two bad movies. We understand. I told you before that Man of Steel is my second favorite DCEU film, but it's still pretty bad, you know? And then we had Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman being the crown jewel of those four, but it's not enough to erase the fact that Superman was not represented properly in this DC cinematic universe, and Batman was out of character his damn self. All the death by proxies, like Zack Snyder wanted to call them, death by proxies. Yeah, all that ain't do well. They ain't do so well either. So I guess that factors in, given all the history and all the production problems that we had and the inconsistent tone and Ben Affleck being fat and then skinny, recognizing the reshoots. Like, I'm sorry, Ben. I don't see Chris Evans looking that much. Like, maybe Chris Evans might slim down, but he don't go that way up. So when there's reshoots, you can pad the suit. You can pad the suit. That's what they did with Hemsworth when they filmed that final scene with the Avengers eating shawarma. Hemsworth done already lost all the Thor muscle he had because he done filmed the movie a while ago. All they need to do is pad his suit back up. So it was just, the movie was just a mess, I guess. But for Venom to be critically liked more than Justice League, that makes no sense to me. Okay? It makes absolutely no sense that Venom has a better audience score. And I'm hearing things like, oh, from other people, oh, it's that throwback to those, those classic superhero B movies back before they got big budgets, somewhere around the era of Blade and stuff like that, before the budgets really started to kick in. It has more of that grittier feel to it or something like that, like a time of nostalgia. Like, Venom is a nostalgic character, to be honest with you, besides being being one of Spider-Man's greatest rogues, one of Spider-Man's greatest rogues, because he's most recognizable with that black suit and the spider logo, which is not in this movie, okay? And you could tell the movie was hacked to pieces. This is what I don't like. And I swear, if they bring out an R-rated version on Blu-ray, I'm going to lose my shit. Not because I didn't expect it, because I expect it, and they should have just fucking released it. Right now, box office, right now, what you're seeing with Venom, it could have still did just as much money. Maybe slightly less because of rated R, but Venom by name is proven already that people know who he is. People were anticipating this movie, and despite all the shit that's been happening with the production, them cutting back on it, and Tom Hardy even saying all his best stuff has been on the floor. Who that sound like? That sound like Jared Leto, doesn't it? Suicide Squad. Same shit, But people pretty much was like, look, it's Venom, okay? There was nothing to set up Venom. Who gives a fuck about Spider-Man 3 back in the day with Topher Grace? We know this ain't the same guy, because the trailers show that he gets the power in a lab. So there's no connection to the Raimi series. So these people went to this like, fuck it, it's Venom. He's one of Spider-Man. We know him through Spider-Man. Let's go watch this movie. Whereas Justice League was set up by mediocre to bad movies with one good movie. And maybe that's what factors in. I'm not saying that Venom's gonna do more than Justice League, 630-something million worldwide. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for the movie to actually have been critically accepted by the audience on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience, okay, more than Justice League, is not a good look at all for Justice League. All right? But let's talk about it. It's really not a good look for all the people who want to blame DC's poor performance on Rotten Tomatoes, where Venom can prosper having a shitty critic score. Because if Venom has a cult following and people still showed up to see the movie more than expected, the movie done made its money back already. So the movie's a success, despite what we all may think about it or not think about it and stuff. Whereas Justice League put them in the red. It put DCU in the red, and we got the Aquaman trailer, which was kick ass. But I'm telling you, I'm a betting man. That was all the good action sequences that we saw in that 5-something minutes. And that's not good. That is not good at all. If this turns out to be true, I'm going to still go see it. But please for the love of God, I hope they didn't bust their load completely. You know, that's why I'm glad that, oh man, December's already here. I ain't got to really fucking wait too much longer for Aquaman. And to see him pop up in that suit, the classic suit. But I'm talking about Aquaman. Let's get back to Venom. You see how this ride goes. And I'm looking forward to them actually trying to pull that rated R uncut bullshit on Blu-ray. I'm just waiting for it. Right now they're trying to milk as much PG-13 money as possible. You're not fooling me, Sony. You're not fooling me. You know, just like, look what Fox is doing. Fox is testing out Deadpool for Disney. They're like, okay, we're gonna put out a PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2 the same time Aquaman comes out, just to see how it does in the audience. And I'm like, oh Lord, don't do this to Deadpool. But I digress. So anyway, let me know what you think about the whole Venom situation, and do you, like me, starting to notice that Rotten Tomatoes don't define a movie? If a person wants to go see a movie, they're going to see the movie, no matter how shitty it is, especially with superhero films, because they have enough fan following. They are the ones who should rely the least, and seem to rely the least, on a positive Rotten Tomato score. Because look at Venom, it's doing this thing. Do I like it? I thought it was trash. But that's just me. So let me know what you think below. And as always, keep watching what you want. Keep gaming the way you want. Keep being you, because I'm a Fury. I'm out. Peace.